Hi everyone, and welcome to Valley Crafty Corner. I have another scrapbook process video to share with you, and this will be the last layout I make for the March Studio Calico kit called Neverland, and I also have the Hook and Tink add-ons. So I'm starting off with this piece of paper is the very last 12 by 12 piece of paper that I have for the Studio Calico kit. So it's this cloud paper. I think it's by Kessiard or Kaisiard. I'm not sure how you say it. And it's kind of got like that landscape kind of topographic map on the back side. So here, just to kind of stretch the kit along a little bit, because I had quite a bit, used up quite a bit of my scraps in the last one, I pulled out some of the Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm papers just because I thought they went really well with this cloud paper, just because the cloud paper was a little bit softer than the papers that were in the rest of the kit, like the rest of the papers that I had left. So you saw me cut out some of these little arrow shaped patterns from that one piece of paper, and then here I'm just taking this Amy Tangerine paper and I'm just cutting a very small photo mat, very small. And then I had some of that weird wood grain pattern left over, so I just made a photo corner with it. And here I'm just trying to see about matting these photos here. And I had some of this blue dotted paper. And this is also from the Lucky Charm collection. And I had the photo at first on this right hand side of the photo, but I was going to put it kind of in the same area in my album as that photo or the layout that I had made before, the one that says New Year's Eve. And because the photo on that side was also on the right side, I didn't think that it would flow really well if I had two two layouts with each of those photos on the right hand side. So it would make more sense to put one on the left hand side. So that's why I did this small little change. You'll see that in a second here. So here's where I've come to the conclusion that I need to put it on the right hand side somewhere. And I also grabbed a doily just because I thought it needed a little bit of a more girlier touch, just because there's my sister and a friend of mine in the photo. So, and here I took some more of that Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm collection, and it's like that florally kind of print. And I'm going to take that dotted paper away, and I'm going to cut a strip of the dotted paper instead. And this is some leftover blue cardstock from the Studio Calico kit, and I'm going to cut a mat for that, just to add a little bit of light blue back into the layout a little bit. And then that kind of blue dotted paper is from the Yes Please collection by Amy Tangerine. And I really like how both of those lines seem to flow really well together. It seems like you can mix and match those papers, and they seem to have the same kind of colors. I wouldn't say necessarily the same feel, but they definitely have the same kind of close to the same color scheme, so you can mix and match them for sure. And you can kind of see I have a pile of these little arrows going. And I tried doing this starburst pattern for it, and you know what? I'm not saying that it doesn't look cool. I've just come to this conclusion that I'm a very linear scrapbooker. I like to have things in boxes and just very linear like. I have a hard time when it comes to circles and you know, doing kind of like a starburst pattern, just because I want everything to be so perfect. Like everything has to be not necessarily straight, but it has to be orderly. And I just find when it comes to the starburst pattern or like in a circular pattern, I have a hard time with that. I guess I'm just starting to become, like, starting to realize what kind of a scrapbooker I am. But I left that diagonal kind of arrow thing into the video just so you could kind of see how it looks and see if that's something that you like. It wasn't something that was going to work for me. So here I decide I'm going to take and start gluing everything down. That pinkish pattern on the background is actually an old piece of Studio Calico paper, and it's from the Heyday collection. I wanted to try and use up some scraps. I just found I was getting to be collecting quite a few scraps. So I dove into my scrap basket and started putting some of these scraps to good use. And I was getting close to the bottom of this kit, so I wanted to, you know, make sure that I could get the most off of this layout without it looking too lean. And I don't think there's anything wrong with using other supplies with these kits. I generally try to be pretty true to the kit, unless I'm having a hard time with either like the embellishment, like it's sometimes the Studio Calico kits that you get are really embellished, embellishment light. Sometimes you don't get quite as few embellishments as you normally do. I think if you get the add-ons and stuff like that, you're probably okay. But especially when you're getting towards the end of the kit, your embellishments and your papers are getting a little bit on the skimpier side. And I'm all for using whatever you got. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of stretch these supplies out as much as I could with still kind of fitting into the theme and the coloring of the layouts that I wanted to make. So I'm just kind of laying these arrows down to just see where I want to place them, and I wanted the arrows to kind of point, the one at the top towards the photo, and then the one at the bottom is going to point towards my journaling, so it's always kind of pointing towards something. So that was my thinking with, instead of it being so linear. And then the other problem I have with, you know, doing a layout like with a starburst is I have a hard time figuring out where to put my journaling, because to me, I have a hard time with my journaling anyway, and journaling to me is always like top to bottom. And, you know, I think it's just, you know, one of those things where you start to learn what you like and what you don't like as you start to develop, you know, into a scrapbooker, or you know what your own designs, what you like are and what they aren't. So here I took the other part of that doily and I put it down at the bottom, and I took some scraps of paper that I had already cut up, like that that orangey stripe is from the Amy Tangerine, and then that navy dot is from a leftover piece from that navy dot that's up at the top from the Lucky Charm collection. And then that blue piece of paper, I believe that's a branding strip. If it's not a branding strip, then I think it is that blue cardstock, and I just cut a piece off of that. And here I'm just looking at some of the embellishments that I think I'm probably going to use on this layout, and I just wanted to tuck some of this washi tape underneath, just kind of draw a little bit more of the colors into the layout that like that Color Me Happy washi tape that had a lot of the colors in it that were also being used in the kit, or on this layout, sorry. And I pulled that mask out for a little bit, but I thought better against it. I just think I didn't want to drown out the cloud paper too much. I really like that cloud paper, and I wanted to kind of stand off on its own. And that tag there is from the printables, and so I just cut the top off of the tag because I had a hard time figuring out where to put that tag, and then I cut out that little banner piece that was on that tag. So I think it says "You are amazing" or "You are awesome." I can't remember what it says. And then that yellow piece was another printable piece. It was just a little, it had rough edges from when I had cut it out. I don't know why it had so many issues with the cutting on the silhouette at that point, but it had little weird edges on it. So I would just use a hole punch. I think I used a 1 1/4 hole punch to punch that out. And then here I have some more of these little label pieces that are also from the printables, and I have that tucked underneath that one side, and I also have a yellow one out there as well. And here is some, I think this is My Mind's Eye. I think so, and I think it's from the Follow Your Heart collection, and we got this in a Studio Calico kit. It was probably one of the first kits that I've gotten. And it has it's like a mustardy yellow. It's not quite a bright yellow. It's a more of a darker yellow, and I just thought it would go with some of the yellows that were in that Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm collection. So that's why I chose that one. And then this camera piece, there's only maybe 3/4 of this camera left on a sheet, but I wanted to kind of use it up a little bit, so I just have it tucked underneath the photo so you don't even notice that it's missing a little bit. And here I'm just adding some of these pieces onto the layout, and I'm going to pop dimensional adhesive onto that little banner piece on the one side, not the side that's going to be laid down on the picture, but on the other side, just because there's so many layers going on that photo that it didn't really fit well onto the parts where there wasn't any paper, or where there wasn't any layering, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So just to make it fit a little flatter, I guess, if you want to say that. So here I'm just working at the bottom there and adding some of these little banners. And I forgot the washi tape on the bottom there, so I just peeled everything up and just putting everything back down again. And here I think I'm going to my sewing machine. I think that's what I did. Okay, yes, I did. So you can it's really hard to see, but I did stitch down those little arrows just to give them a little bit of texture and a little bit more well, texture, but also a little bit more focus onto them. They look a little different, not so flat. And here I'm taking these goodness stickers, and I realized when I started putting this down that they were kind of falling into the background of that paper. So I'm going to pick them off, and then I'm going to take some of this Project Life washi tape that we got in the kit, and it's from the Fifth and Frolic collection by Dear Lizzy. And it just gave something else for those stickers to kind of sit on, just so that they didn't fall into the background. It gave your eye somewhere to rest on those letters. And here I pulled out these bingo chip letters, but I'm not going to use these. These are just way too big for what I want it to say. My title's going to be Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and it just they're just too big. So I'm just going to pull them off, put them back on some washi tape, or some wax paper, and then I'll just throw them back into the thing. And here I pull out these little tiny stickers, and this was, I think they're from Basic Grade, but I'm not sure. And going to use those to spell out Girls Just Wanna, or sorry, yes, Just Wanna Have is what they're going to spell. And you can kind of see I ran out of some room on the end here, so I'm just going to fast forward, and you're going to see everything kind of jumped over to the left here. So there it's a little better spaced out. And I'm going to go back to these goodness letters and I'm going to spell out the word fun with an exclamation point. So that's that. And here I'm going to start doing my journaling, and you guys know I jump forward past my journaling because it takes me forever. And I keep looking at these collectible stickers, and they have some really cute words on here. I think it says something, you are happy silly girl, and I'm going to put something underneath that. I'm going to take one of those rub-ons. It was too bad it didn't say girls, not girl, but I was okay with that. It was kind of the idea of what it said anyway. So here I'm going to take this and rub on. I'm just going to rub it on kind of underneath that doily just to make it look like it has a little bit of a layer. And I'm going to put those stickers over top. And I'm just going to stagger them over top. And you can, I know it's really hard to see from the photo or from the video, but you can see that and underneath that. So it does kind of, you know, give it a little bit of interest. And I'm just adding some enamel dots around those words just to draw your eye to it. And just adding some more around these embellishment clusters. And I thought about, you know, because there's that blue piece down there, I thought I would maybe add some stamping to it, but I didn't really have anything. But this one is a rub-on that says love you to pieces. And I do love my sister to pieces. And this friend that's in the photo, I haven't seen her for years and years and years. So it was nice to kind of have a little bit of a reunion this particular night. So I love them both to pieces. I love all my friends and all my family. So here's, I think about maybe getting in for a close-up, but I don't, because I realize I want to add something else. So I'm going to stick it back down for a second, and those letters keep falling, but what I'm going to do, and I don't think I put it on video, is I actually am going to sew down those letters just so they don't go anywhere. So you're probably not going to see that until the final videos. And here I'm going to take some of this skyscraper mist, and I'm just going to mist in each of those little corners just to kind of draw your eye throughout. And now here I think we are going to get into some close-ups. So here's what everything looks like. So pretty cool, lots of layering on this one. So let me know what you think, and thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day. Bye.